What's good, everybody? It's your boy King Lee. I'm here with a special guest today. I got Nakia Hamilton. How you doing today, brother?
I'm doing good, man. I'm happy to be here, man. I really appreciate this.
Oh man, I'm stoked having you here. This is real talk, like, dude. This was like a journey that I ain't know if I was gonna get to do or not because you're one busy man, bro.
Not that busy, man.
Not that busy.
You gotta make time for people. You know what I mean? So I support you 100% because you support me. So
definitely,
I'll
man.
make time.
Definitely. So today we're here. We taking a journey with Nakia. We talking about his life, the things he's been through, you know, and his journey in general. And like we had a pre-conversation before this. We're not gonna do the generic interview where we talk about the basic things. By far, I'm pretty sure y'all know this man. This man has made himself a pillar in the community. He's been doing a lot of things in the community thus far, and I think we just need to pick up and talk about some things that you would like to share with them. I mean, also the people who may not know you, getting them some kind of insight of who you are and what brought you to this part of the journey that you are on right now.
It's, man, you know, like everybody, you know, as a kid, you're just doing things. You have dreams and plans.
True.
And as you grow and develop, you learn and you move in a certain direction. I've just been blessed, man, to where I've been able to see through things, you know what I mean, that wasn't the best for me. And we really can't say wasn't the best for me, but it wasn't, it didn't take me to the journey that I wanted to go. So basically what I'm saying, as a kid, I wasn't in the environment of filmmaking. I wasn't in the environment, you know, of actors, and I knew nothing about this. Nobody in my family knew anything about filming. And so I was blessed to just make a decision one day, and I prayed to God about it, and he told me go in this direction. I just went in this direction, and, you know, stuff happened.
And it's funny you say that, because I had a conversation with somebody, and I just feel like everything that we do, it kind of leads us to our direction. Like, I would have never known today, this year, this time, that I'd be doing podcasts and interviews with people. That was not my forte. My forte was music. I mean, you know, as you met me, and, you know, it had something to do with a mic, but now I'm behind the mic for a whole nother reason, you know. So in your journey, it's a lot of things I do know about you, and I'm just going to touch on them. We don't got to dig deep into them and touch on them. I know when I first met you, you had a TV show.
Yeah.
And that's what makes this whole thing unique for me, because like a full circle, when I first met him, he was interviewing me and my friends because we were doing music. And so now we bite full circle. But in that time frame of the TV show, I know you did music. This is where I just want to touch on these things. You did music, you did, what was it? The TV show. And whatever else I'm missing.
I produced music. I actually coached basketball for a little while. So somebody convinced me to do it. It was a great experience about leadership and making choices off of instinct. You know what I mean? It clarified instinct. So you know, music and all, you know, corners of music, producing music, writing music, performing, everything but singing. And, you know, and just kind of took it in that direction with the TV show. That was my first film project, was the crazy thing about it. You know, the Crazy Red Show. And I just said, you know, I was going to do it. And I did it. And, you know, things happened.
And here we are today. So what's the most, I guess in your journey, right? Because you've been doing this now for about, 15, 20 years? Like,
what's funny, as a business, it's only been 2017. But people that know me, because when I started Crazy Red Show, it wasn't to be a business or nothing. I just felt like God told me to do it, so I did it. And when people look on the outside, you know, we put our thoughts on other people. And so sometimes we see things and we see it for what we think it is, not for what it really is.
Gotcha,
you know?
That makes sense.
So everybody thought, and I didn't realize this till years later, they thought I was trying to be the next Oprah show or something. That wouldn't even cross my freaking mind. Like, I didn't think no more than just public access.
Okay.
And, you know, and I wasn't even thinking about making money off of it. And so, you know, I was doing I started doing documentaries, one a year. Then, you know, it really wasn't until 2017, I said, you know what? I left my job, making a decent amount of money. It was like $20 an hour, working 40, 60 hours a week. And I'm here.
Yeah. Now, this is the biggest part of transitioning to entrepreneurship. A lot of people don't know how to take that leap, because like a lot of people, like you say, you had a job, you make a pretty decent money, and from what I'm hearing from you, took a leap of faith, and you were like, okay, I'm gonna focus 100% on my craft, my my passion project, Was that hard for you to do? Was that something that was kind of difficult to, own that reality that I'm about to step foot into myself for real?
Yes and no. There was little old SHIT moments. They were like, but they were far and few because I was just so engaged and immersed in what was going on. I think it was harder for other people to accept than me, and that was the tough part. Outside of that, because they were not in it every day. They weren't thinking about it every day. They will only think about it when they see me doing something. So they didn't get the full picture, And I got this thing about leap of faith. Because people always say it, but I think there are certain sayings, like certain things in the Bible, when it's said, certain things are understood. And leap of faith, to leap, you got to have a place to leap from. You know what I mean? A lot of people take a leap of faith and have no place to leap from. By the time I left my job, I had plenty of money. I had enough money saved up to where if I just spent that money on bills and stuff, we'd be completely taken care of for a year. Like, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So I just, you know what I mean? Like, I gave myself a place to leap from. I just brought new equipment. I had a distributor that has already taken 2 of my movies. So it just wasn't, it just wasn't like I have no experience. I don't know what's going on. I'm going to jump. That's ignorance. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So basically that transition, what we got to understand is embracing the process. Because it was years of me just making a movie here, making a movie there. Then you have to look back at your past. When I was 18 years old, a family I knew opened an outlet mall, and the guy told me, for some random reason, he walks to me and say, before you start a business, you need this, this, and this, and this. And I never forgot that. It's just a random, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that story comes full circle on a whole nother level that we can't get into right now.
Okay, that's cool.
But it's like a book, But yeah, I think embracing the process is what it boils down to, and doing something you really want to do, because for me, time didn't matter. You know what I mean? I knew I was going to be doing it for the rest of my life, so I didn't have to, I got to have it done by this year. I got to have it. No, it's about getting the most out of today.
And I like how you put that, dude. You really shine a light, because when you said the whole leap of faith thing, and I got to touch back on that, because to me that was deep. Because a lot of people do take that and take it literally, like I just got to just do it no matter what. If my face hit the wall, it hit the wall. But you saying that you was prepped for that leap.
Yeah, it's like, why do that when you don't have to? Like, that, to me, that's ignorance. And sometimes, I mean, a leap of faith is, you making, at the end of every month, you only got $100 left. And so your goal is to save $90 at it, every month for a year. Like, that's a leap of faith. Like,
Got you. I got you. Yeah.
But some of this not researching, it's really being lazy.
And that's true.
Yeah,
because sometimes, I ain't gonna lie, you want people to kind of do it. And I ain't say do it for you, but a lot of times
you want people to do it.
Yeah, you want people to do it for you. Like, if you know somebody in this field and that field, you're like, well, you got it already. Just help me, basically give it to me in a sense. And a lot of people have that, that mindset. It's like right now I can look at you like, well, you shoot movies. Here goes my script. And want you to make it, but not putting no effort in behind myself, to actually push that project.
Yes.
I mean, so going like for the dreamers out there, I like talking to the dreamers. That's one of my biggest things, to talk to people who, have passion projects, who do things, who, trying to fall into their own. Like, as a businessman yourself, is there anything that you like to tell, those newcomers who's coming into their dream, who coming into their self? Is there any kind of knowledge you like to drop on them that you wish somebody would have dropped on you when you started your journey?
For me, stop dreaming. Just make plans.
Got you.
You know what I mean? And that's something I had to realize just this year. Like, stop dreaming, because you can dream too hard, and be caught up in the dream. And, and the thing about the dream, that there's an emotional attachment that comes to it. And if we really can't control our emotions, but we can kind of pre-plan for them.
Okay.
So when we dream all the time, we're in this cloud, and I never forget, these kids worked on this album for 8 months. And they thought the album was going to be crazy because they worked on it 8 months. But that has nothing to do with executing.
Yeah,
you know what
that's
I mean?
true.
Like, what people like is what people like. There's somebody that can go in there and throw something together and people like it. And so it's all about understanding. It's all about getting knowledge, embracing the process of learning. And it is hard to understand. And I don't think it's our fault. It's not a generational thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think just through history and people striving to turn people into customers. You know what I mean? The marketing and trying to create the narrative, it created this false perspective, of the process. So because of that, and because of it created so much convenience, we emulate the results. We don't emulate the process. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
No, that's deep. No, what you just said is absolutely true. Like it's like the process is lost, but it's like you're looking at the reward. You're looking at the things you achieve after you go through the process, but you're not paying attention to the process.
Yeah.
That make a lot of sense.
And some people don't even go through the process. They just try. And that's the thing about Facebook, man. It's like, in social media in general, people complain about it, but it's not social media. It's the way we think. We wouldn't, if it wasn't social media, we would think the same way about something else. But the convenience of this stuff has it where I can go up here and pretend I'm something.
True.
And that's the dangers of social media. You can pretend to be what you want to be without really being that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So so you live that, and you live that, but you don't never go in the lab. You know what I mean? You don't never just put in the hours. You don't never try to grow and get your emotions out of the way. And that's the process. And that's when a year goes by and a situation happens and you have enough experience and knowledge to execute and other people don't. Like it's that simple, embracing the process.
That's a good too. That's really good too. Like embracing the process and understanding what you got to do. I think the two key things is having somewhere to jump from when you're taking that leap. Really, and then understanding the process and what you're going to be doing, and understanding the work you're going to have to put in, the man hours, to actually, like you said, don't really drain, but actually plan out the drain. Once you visualize what you want to do, make a plan, execute it, and get it done. And I think that's probably the biggest things you said thus far. Now, end of your journey, because that's just to the newbies. Where are you at today? Like, what do Nakia got for everybody in store? Like, what is something that you're working on, or you're thinking about working on, if you can dive into those things?
It's a lot. I'm always, and it's almost like I'll give an answer, but it's going to sound a little indirect. But
okay.
I'm working on just ownership.
Okay,
like
cool.
That's it. Like everything is ownership. I'm starting my own streaming service, and I've been working on it for a year and a half.
Okay.
And I could have put something together and had it out in 2 months. What I mean? But I was like, no. And something, I like Jay-Z. I'm not like some Jay-Z fanatics like some people, but I pay attention to detail. And he just did a deal. I'm sorry, he just did a deal with was it Moet? It was an alcohol company.
Okay.
And when the deal was done, everybody was like, it's all this big news. But I sat and watched the interview with him, the guy, and I think it was CNN. And what I took from it was that everybody missed, this was in process for about 2 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And they came to him prior. But he said he waited and made sure they was going to go to the meetings like they said they would, call when they said they was going to call. Like he was checking their character. Like anybody else, they would have put a certain amount of money to invest in your company. We would have jumped on it.
Oh, yeah,
but he waited to make sure it was right. You know what I mean? And so for me, that's kind of what my streaming service and things are. Like we're getting things in place, getting the right people in place. And that's kind of what I have for people is, things that I own that I can give people opportunity with.
Okay, and that's dope. And it's funny because you answered my next question within to that statement you just made. Because I'm going to ask you, like, who is it that you inspired by? Is it anybody who's already, out there crafting themselves and making a way? Do you look at the way how they move, or, like some people look at motivational videos and things of that nature? Do you find yourself having to jump down the avenue? Do you lose motivation sometimes? Is there times where you wake up and feel like, you don't punch this particular clock too much? Is there ever a moment like that when it comes to you and your journey?
I mean, yeah, I have those moments. My gift is, though, I realized when I got older that I just keep going.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
She like Terminator.
But you know what? I always think there's a way.
Okay.
There's always, and sometimes it doesn't work out the way I want to, but it always works out because I believe that. So I believe in the pivot. big time.
Okay.
You know, like when things happen, when the pandemic happened and everybody went to quarantine, people stopped making movies.
True.
I made more movies than I ever made during the pandemic. You know what I mean?
And that's crazy.
Everybody moved out of the way. All the actors, studios stopped. I called everybody. I wrote a bunch of scripts, and we just went and grinded it out and made like 5 or 6 movies in the pandemic. You know?
Dang, that's good, bro.
But it's that's the thing that works for me, and that inspires me is just life. And there's people like Eric Thomas I listen to all the time.
Okay.
Jim Ron. I'd be careful about listening to some people with motivational, but those are some of the main people. Miles Monroe, super deep.
Okay, I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah, check out Miles Monroe. Jim Ron is good too. He don't have as much content, but Eric Thomas, him, and a big thing I highly recommend people listen to is A-Lux.
A-Lux?
Yeah, A-L-U-X, A-Lux.
Okay.
You can go to their website. They got a YouTube channel, a lot of content. Their slogan is "Where billionaires go to get inspired." And it's the raw truth of money, finances, and it'll make you look at your life in a linear way outside of your life. I highly recommend that.
Okay, definitely check that out, bro. I mean, going on your journey, you said when you do hit those hard times, you do have things you can, motivate yourself with or pick yourself up with. But the key goal is that you're going to keep going. That's your gift, no matter what. Have you ever had a project with this seemed like it was the hardest project? Like when, and what I mean by that, you kind of regret once you jumped out there and took it on.
You know what's funny? No matter what happens, I take it as a learning experience.
Yeah.
And this one was so much of a learning experience. I almost wish I didn't do it, but I'm glad I did.
Okay.
We just did a movie called, I'm trying not to say no name, but I've never been, this movie alone, the last movie we filmed called Single Save and Searching, we had to change it to Single and Searching.
Okay.
And that's a whole nother thing that we may want to talk about, like why the name change. Name changes are a huge deal that people overlook, but I picked the wrong people. And that was the bottom line. That was
like in the crew, or you mean just like acting wise?
That the leads.
The leads. Got you.
I picked the wrong people, and not that they were bad people. They was the wrong people for the project because it took a certain mindset, and it just took a certain mindset, and they were not ready and prepared for this moment. They could be ready and prepared right now. They could have been ready and prepared 2 months prior, but those 10 days, they were not. And I can honestly say, out of all my projects put together, that was worse than all of them. I can honestly say that.
How do you? That's the biggest thing, because I'm pretty sure the pool of actors or whatnot and actress, is it huge, or like do you really like handpick? Like when you got a script in front of you and you don't work with plenty of people, is it like, do you kind of like handpick the people you want for certain roles, or it's kind of like you throw it out there and whoever bites? So how do you pick your?
It just kind of depends. I realized I approach filmmaking a lot different than other people. Most people make a project with things in mind and try to convince people to like it. I find out what people like and I create that.
Okay.
So when I do that, I know these people are going to like this actor or actress. I know they're gonna like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then we go from there and build it up. There is a huge pool, but only a few get picked. And that's just the reality of it. And I learned through just a lot of reading and some experiences, you just gotta focus on your start five. And if people complain about your favoritism to the start five, they're not built for the team. You want people that are not in your start five that want to be in your start five is going to fight to be in your start five.
And that makes sense. Yeah, they kind of like they playing their part till they get there.
Yeah. And that's part of it. So, man, that was a rough day.
Yeah, I can tell. I kind of wish I was there in the background.
No, you don't.
I mean, so you have. What was your favorite? Can I ask you what was your favorite project to this day? You like, I did that.
It's changing now, but I would say Dear Younger Me. Okay. Because I just got a hold of stuff. Like I just, I had some new equipment that I used 3 or 4 films prior to that, and I feel like Dear Younger Me, I just got a grip on what was going on. You know what I
Okay,
mean?
and that's one that you wrote that yourself, right?
Yeah, every film that I made, I wrote.
Oh, okay. I thought you may deal with writers here and there. So everything that you did is
everything I did so far. I'm training 2 writers now. They got 1 script done.
Okay.
But everything. Dear Younger Me is my baby. Her Happy Place was probably the most fun.
Okay.
Entanglement is like, that's that stuff. Yeah.
Hold on, I haven't seen Entanglement.
Yeah.
I missed that one.
Put the kids to bed. It's on Prime right now. It's on Prime right now.
Okay.
Trust me. Put the kids to bed, and you gonna like it. But put them kids to bed.
Yeah. I definitely put. Do I have it? Just by the name alone, like I gotta check that out.
Yeah, you and wife, you get a drink, y'all can sit and watch. She might yell at the screen once or twice, but make sure the kids are asleep on that one. That's that stuff. What's funny, it just dropped on Prime yesterday, and I think it's going to Tubi Friday. It's on Google Play and it's on YouTube Movies.
Okay.
So you have to rent it there, or you can download it to own it. But if you got Prime, you can watch it for free on Prime right now.
Tell me about that part of the journey. That's a part of the journey to me. Is like how do you get your stuff from Of course, I know you got to pay for it or however that go. But how do you learn that process of okay, I made a movie, and like you said, and getting it to the point where people buying it, getting it to the point where you on Prime, you on YouTube. Was that hard to crack open that door, or was it pretty simple once you learned it?
It was just about sacrifice,
Okay.
and depending on the sacrifice, it was hard. I'm just not really scared to fail.
Okay.
I guess I don't fail so many times. I just ain't scared. So a lot of people, it's hard because they're so worried about making a perfect movie, but you don't know until people see it.
True.
There's movies, man. There's one movie I can't stand that we made. Not that I can't stand it. I think it's a very smart movie, but one of the lead actors showed up 4 hours late every day. I'm literally 6 days in a row, 4 hours late. Yeah, like that's some of the stuff you go through, but the movie is doing so well.
Oh, wow.
And the thing is, people watch movies for different reasons. Some watch it because, or whatever, this and that, and people watch this movie because it was relatable. And once you figure that part out, for me, it was easier to crack into those things. So I'm able to get a distributor what they want.
Okay.
I know, because it's about relationship. That's what it boils down to. You know what I mean? It's boiled down to relationship.
You mean on how you get yourself through those doors? It boils down to relationships you build.
One big thing about relationship, I think, as far as getting yourself through those doors, is you got to give people what they want. Like a lot of people, I'm trying to keep all the money for my movie, but that's not how it's going to work. Like you're going to have to make other people money.
Money, yeah.
You know what I mean? Amazon's not going to take you or pump you up, if you're not making the money. And if you make the money, they'll put you in the starting 5.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
you can get extra bit, you know what I mean? We got to pay attention to details. Never forget, man, Michael Phelps got caught smoking weed, and they brushed that stuff off because he was a gold medalist. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He in the starting 5.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But if he was somebody we was having problems with losing, you know what I mean, haven't won nothing yet, and get caught in this stuff,
he would have been gone.
Yeah.
So that's deep, bro. So my thing is that, like you said, to you, I guess thus far with your journey, it has never been too hard. It's never been too easy. It just, you've been in a groove so far that you, like you said, you keep going, you in this groove. And like I said, you're going to do this for the rest of your life. Like this is your thing. Like there's no, I'm writing books now. Or would you write a book?
It'll evolve. But it's not like, and I may start like other like businesses. Like I got some other stuff, just these basic online businesses that I'm thinking about starting, but this is it. You know what I mean? It will evolve around. Everything will be birthed out of Live Life Entertainment, some form, somehow, and grow from there. But yeah, I'm not stopping filming and, going making leather footballs that go in the dark or something crazy.
Hey man, I think that's a good idea. Night football, nah, bro. But okay, I'm trying to think what I asked you so far. I know I asked you a couple of things. What else do you want to talk about? Like I'm gonna give you a chance to talk about some things that you want to talk about. Like free baller here, man. Because I know I want my people to know you like I know you, and I want them to understand everything that you got, the offering got to give, which I think we covered a good bit of that. But get them an insight of you and an insight of who you surround yourself with, because that's another important thing too.
Surrounding yourself with the right people is crucial, bro. Even down to marriage and all that stuff. You know what
Facts.
I mean? I can't remember exactly what in the Bible, but it basically says if you can have a good relationship with I'm not sure the level with God without being married, being single, do it. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of best for you. So, and that shows you how cautious and intentional we got to be about who we surround ourselves with in marriage and friendship. If he said that about marriage, with a friendship and, business partners and things, it's even more important. And I think because we rub off on people. And the sad part is people could be around you and not even do anything and bring you down.
And that's true.
It's impossible to do that and bring you up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so you got to be careful, because you're just not bringing them, you're bringing everything with them around. So if, y'all got meetings and they never have money, they always need a ride. And they always need a ride because people that they are around has taken advantage of them and they can't even keep a car. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you're bringing the burden of them and other people around them. And so those things you have to put on the table. I recommend a book by Napoleon Hill. Oh my God, I can't think of the book, but it's like his best-selling book. Okay. He speaks about all that stuff. I highly recommend reading that book. But you got to get people around you that are smarter than you. And some people are afraid to bring those people around them because they know they're not as smart as they should be. That's the unconscious thought. So they think they're going to get taken advantage of, or people are going to take their idea and stuff like that. But if you're doing your research and studying and doing what you're supposed to do, there's no fear. You're confident in yourself. And so I think just, knowing who the right people are. You don't know who they are until you know who you are, till you put time into yourself. So I highly recommend your environment. And it's sad because, some of the people we know, their family is their downfall. And that's tough.
And I was going to say that because, I think a lot of people have that issue that literally is like say it's their family. It's the wife or the husband. They're not, I don't know if it's a jealousy thing or it's just feeling like, a selfish thing, but a lot of times people cannot grow because of their significant other because they're literally won't allow them to have the time or they constantly ain't, managing money right, so they put you in a bind where you can't put your finances in the right place.
Or they're competing against them.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Instead of supporting something, like T.D. Jakes said, if you want to be blessed, help somebody that's already blessed.
That is so true.
But sometimes we compete against spouses, even friends, so you're absolutely right. Those people, it could be your family, it could be your brother. And I had to learn some people are one-day people. Some people I only get talked to once a day.
Yep.
Some people are 1 week people. Some people are once a year people.
That is so true, yeah.
And if you don't delegate that right, then you're going to have somebody that you should only speak to once a year around you every day.
Every day, yeah.
And that's unhealthy.
Yeah, towards everything you're trying to do, exactly. It was funny because I was telling my friends, the way you really know somebody's about you is if they do something for you for no gain.
Yeah.
Out the blue. And I was trying to explain to them, I made it simple as t-shirts. I was like, that's like if somebody know you sell t-shirts and they see a deal where t-shirts are like 50% off and they just hit you up out the blue and either tell you about it or they just go themselves and go ahead and get it for you in person and give it to you, but not expecting anything. Yeah. Like those type of people, they're rare, but those type of people that you need around, people who think about you and your success, even if it has nothing to do with them directly.
Yes, they want you to win. And those are the people that you need. I seen a post. The guy said, you need people around. You need friends that's going to pray for you when you're not around. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So it's not a show. It's not for you to see. They genuinely want you to win, and you're absolutely right. You're 100%.
Yeah.
100% right.
And that's how you know. And it's like another, not a post. I think T.D. Jakes said that about the hand. I know you saying anything about when the person slammed their hand in the door. There's a little video that's going around, like me slamming your hand in the door. Your legs start jumping. And he was like, your legs start jumping, your arms start shaking. And he was like, but you didn't hurt your leg, you didn't hurt your arms. But being that it's connected, you seen that video?
No, I haven't, but I get
but he was basically saying like, you can tell who's truthfully connected to you by how they react when you go through what you go through. When you go through your pain or whatever. If you look at somebody and you're going through some kind of hardship or you're going through something, they look at you like, that's crazy. That person ain't connected to you the way you think they are. But if they shouting and jumping with you, or even enjoy, they shouting and jumping with you when you have success or when you're in pain, that's truly show you how connected those people are to you. And it's kind of like, you like you say, and you can't put the 1 year people and in a everyday person position. And I think we all fall victim to that. I fell victim to that. You know what I mean? Myself, and I just had to step outside of myself and look at the whole picture and, and see what was going on and then figure out what I had to maneuver and move around so I could be my best me. And I think a lot of people have a hard time doing it because you feel like you're doing a disservice to somebody once you put some space between you and somebody. But sometimes you have to do that for both of y'all to grow.
Yeah, because you're just not damaging yourself. You are hurting them also. And we got to be real about how history has an impact on this. You know what I mean? How when, I remember my dad, some information he told us when I was a kid about Vietnam, how they put all the black men on the front line, how they gave them medication, and so they take them to these places, they got them hooked on drugs, put drugs in these communities, and they sending that uncle back to his family. You know what I mean? They're sending these people, or they're giving that uncle a free place in the projects that they maneuvered black people to be in. And so that has an impact because it only take one rotten apple. To start to infect the rest of the thing. Only one molded hamburger bun to start spreading mold around the rest of them.
And that's true.
And I think we cannot forget about that, just about history, to where it has that impact on us, where it's not, like, I got to be careful about how I say stuff because it makes it seem like it's just your fault why this is this and that is that. Yeah. But you have complete control to change it. But we have to be real that history and situations have things the way they are, where it has an influence and impact on those things. So I just can't say, black people are this or you're just lazy or whatever. Through history, through what we watch, through how they control movies and television.
Oh yeah, that's a big impact right there.
All this stuff has an impact, but it's about understanding these things and maneuvering through this stuff, not just indulging in it and accepting what it is. So when we talk about those people we need to keep away for a year, it's not that, they're just awful, just born awful people. It's through history and it's through a routine that has been created in their household, in their community that they lived in. I never forget, years ago, man, a friend was at a university around here and they were giving away free computers. But they were giving them to neighborhoods that these people got computers. It was the craziest thing, and it's just an example of the opportunity. Because Jay-Z always said, man, he said the reason why Bill Gates was Bill Gates because he had the opportunity to get a hold of a computer before anybody else could. It's not that he's smarter than you. He had complete access.
Got you.
And I think with me with film, because of what I did with film, is because I was put in a position to have access to it before a lot of other people could. So
you see. I know me because a lot of times I like to see it done first. I'm kind of one of those people. I think that would have scared me being the first. I feel like that would have made me more how to say it, like not standoffish. Procrastinate. I would procrastinate a lot more, and I had to learn that through Jay. I call him Jay the Letter, but even when it came to my pod, he was the reason when I started. I don't know if you ever heard that story, but I kept telling about the ideal I said on the podcast for like a year and a half before I started. And he was like, man, why talk about it? Just do it. He was just that serious about it. Just do it. And he would not let me talk about it no more. He said, no, just do it. No need to talk about it no more. You want to do it. And, and that's one of those people you need around, somebody who just gas you like that. Like, hold up. You mean all I got to do, just start it. And then like, also, like they say, people say they want to be on TV or they want a channel. And I forgot who it was I was watching. And it was like, everything you think you need, you already have it.
Yeah.
Channel, you got a Facebook page, right? Instagram page, right? They're like a network, you got people to follow you, right? People that already like the simple things you put down there. And it was crazy to hear that because when you're doing things like this and things you do, you kind of feel like you need an audience before you earn the audience. That's the way I look at it. And a lot of times you'll burn yourself out. And one of my biggest fall downs is looking for instant gratification. That killed me my whole, career in being entrepreneurship or having what you call it, passion projects that always kill me when I do something.
Yeah.
That's why when you said that about the boys, that kind of hit me home with the album. They spent 8 months in this album, and they think I'm gonna drop this album, and I'm gonna kill them. I felt that same way, and I put time on my album the same way. And then when I didn't get that gratification, it kind of killed my spirit. But I told myself in my older years, I can't live like that. I got to do those things that I like to do. That I'm getting the gratification already, because when I'm finished, I did it. That's a done project.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And I feel you on that, man. And I think it goes back to embracing the process. It's just a part of the process.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think we're looking for a result, not really looking for growth. You know, and like this is, and you know, I know some people that have written scripts and they hold on and sit on to them forever like it's the best thing ever. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but
I did that.
You know,
I can't even lie.
And they're scared to put it out because they're waiting for this perfect moment for it to happen. But every day is just another script. And day after, then once you learn the business, you really realize it's just another script. You know what I mean? That somebody got something just like that's out. You know what I mean? There's somebody that got something that can pull that same audience. We see movies that blow up, and we think the story was so amazing, people loved it. But there's a marketing strategy behind it. You know what I mean? Then the marketing strategy includes colors, shapes, races, age, the time of year, what marketing material. All those things are what decides how a movie blows up. And once you have those, then you can place the right concept stuff together. You can have the best movie in the world, but with the wrong marketing, it's a waste of freaking time.
And see, and I like to be transparent. When you say the things that you say, it's a lot of things I know, a lot of mistakes I have made in my past. So I like to be transparent about that. But even what you're saying now about how people sit on things or not knowing the business side, that's always been my downfall. Not now, but 90% of things I did, prior, because not knowing the business, or when somebody tried to give you the business, you're not really trying to listen because it sounds like too much work. And I'm being honest. I'm being so honest. Like they telling you everything you need to do, but you're not trying to hear. All you hear is more work. But you think that whatever you're working on is so great that I don't need to know all that, because who I am, I'm already great. So as soon as I do this, the world going to see me and it's going to be lit. And that was literally one of my biggest issues when I was coming up, not wanting to know the business behind things, because once you hear it, it sounds unreachable. It sounds like you can't attain that. It sounds like I spend a lot of money. It's and you.
But I'm sorry,
you good.
But embracing those things is what being great is.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I know now.
Thinking I'm great and being great is two different things. And this thinking and it will happen is one thing, but thinking that it will happen and doing it, is a whole nother process. And I think that's where we fall short. It's about growth. And I think it's hard for people to grow because they're not trying to grow in their personal lives, And I had to explain to somebody, like somebody that's on a diet that their family was always cautious about eating. It's easy for them to go on a diet. You know what I mean? It's like, it's in their routine. Eric Thomas always said your success is in your routine. And so if your routine is always personal growth, when you start a business, it's going to be easier because you're constantly focused on growth already in your personal life. You're already reading all the time. You understand your body is your main tool. So you're concerned about that. You're concerned about your vision, your muscles, your bones, the relationships with the people you have around you in your personal life. Those are the same traits that you're going to need to go to a business. And I remember a long time ago, a guy said, if you can't manage your household, you're going to have issues managing the business.
That's deep. It's so light. That's so light, but that's so deep at the same time. Because people will skip right over that and try to go run a multi-millionaire business.
Yeah, and manage 30 people. We can't manage two. In a crib. It's wild.
Yeah, it's crazy. I say it's so light of a statement, but it's so deep when you think about it. But that's real. And that's why I say, bro, I like talking to people like you. And that's the... like I tell everybody, man, like whenever you come on my show, it's because you already met success. You're already successful in your own way, in your own venture. And I know you're gonna get better as time goes, but you're already there. You made it already. And in my eyes, you always had it. Since I known you, you was somebody who was 10 steps ahead of me, and I could see somewhat where I wanted to go at and what direction. So I was like, all right, if I sit back and watch what he's doing, maybe I can learn something from him. Maybe he's gonna drop some jewels. I seen you one time. I think you was outside jogging, and you just walking, and you put a video up. and you were dropping jewels on people about, you know, getting up and just doing it. And even then, it was like I ran across the video by accident. It was like inspiration. I literally started doing what I needed to do. You know what I mean? I was like, okay, cool. I mean, I don't make films, but I got something that I do. I need to get up and start getting my stuff together. And having people like that around is big. And I like this, you know, other people who don't know y'all, like for, you know, your network to get, you know, different people who haven't heard about Love Life Entertainment, because you know, everybody probably haven't heard about it. Some people probably seen it and not connected, you know, the man behind the magic, you know, but they get to see you now and understand, you know, the journey, understand the process, and understand it's more than just movies, you know. Like you said, you connect with the community, you understand what they want, you know what I mean? And that was the biggest thing you said, like, you really don't, you make movies for you, but you listen to what the consumers say they want, and a lot of people don't really do that. A lot of people say, hey, I like this, so this is what they're gonna eat today. I like turkey sandwiches, so guess what? You all eating turkey sandwiches, you know?
Yeah, but you know, it's funny, it's just making a decision, and I'm not saying what I'm doing is the right way for everybody, but it's the right way for me. And the craziest thing that I learned, well, not the craziest, but one of the craziest things that I learned that people never really talked to me about, that was so simple. As I got older, I realized the decisions you make is really 50% is about what you do. The other 50% is about what you don't do. And people forget about that. You know, so being on a diet is one thing, but focus on what you're making a plan to get out of the environment of the things you don't need to eat is just half of the battle. And sometimes, you know, we're still in the environment of stuff we shouldn't be eating, but where our mind is thinking about what we should eat. And so you're starting a fight that you shouldn't fight. And so even in film, you know, when I make a decision and say, I'm gonna make these movies like this, the sacrifice is I can't do this. I don't go out all the time. I don't do all these parties all the time. You know, I don't do all these, I mean, me and my wife take vacations and stuff, but it's not like some people that's their whole freaking life. They need to be a travel agent or something. You know?
Gotcha, yeah.
But I'm completely invested into Love Life Entertainment, K to TV, the Film Factory. Like, I'm completely invested in those things. And in order to be completely invested, you have to have a clear understanding of that 50% you got to do, but even more of an understanding to get away from the 50% you don't or shouldn't be doing. You know?
So give me a day in the life of you. And what I mean by that is, I know you got a family, you got kids, you got a wife, and you got your, you know, your business. I always call my business my babies. You know what I mean? How do you orchestrate a day in the life of you? Like, when you wake up, like, how was your day planned out? Like, do you have like some kind of order to your day? Every day you take a day, like what?
My day starts actually the day before.
Okay.
So before I go to sleep, there's a few main things that I want to get done the next day. And there's a few main things already planned out. Like on Sunday, it'll be a bunch of stuff for the whole week, and there's just be stuff that I know. But for that next day, I have maybe 3 or 4 things that I want to do. That morning, I get up. I get up before everybody else, get my stuff together, do the basic stuff. You know, email, stuff like that. I just go through the stuff, check, have they put my movie on this site yet? You know, the stuff I sent out, just go through that stuff. My kids get ready for school. I help them get ready for school, get all that stuff together. They go off to school. I come back, I get back on the computer, I get to work on my list. You know, my problem is I usually don't take breaks. So I had to stop and start taking breaks like the last couple of years just to clear my mind. When the kids get back from school, I'm pretty much with them, with my wife. Then once they go to bed, I try to squeeze a quick hour in. You know, then I'll be chilling with my wife rest of the night. Certain nights, my wife I'm gonna be in there until 12, 1 o'clock.
Gotcha.
The goal is getting them early in the morning was probably the biggest thing that changed my life. Getting up 4 o'clock, 4:30, because I'm fresh, I'm going. Then by the time 7, 8 o'clock hit, because I was so fresh and so full of energy and prepared and just quiet, I was able to get almost like a day's worth of work done.
Seriously?
So just for real. And so I'll just get laser focused, then the alarm go off because the kids get ready for school. And then once they leave, then I could do all this other stuff where I may have to drive somewhere and pick something up and all that stuff like that. But that was the biggest thing. And so before I left my job, and this is something people need to hear, man, I was working 12-hour shifts, 5 days a week.
Facts.
So I would get up at 4:30, 4 o'clock, and, you know, I started to spend some time with God. Then I would put in about 2 hours of work, then get ready to go to work by 7. Go to work for 12 hours, get home, spend a little bit of time with the kids, wife, squeeze 1 hour in, then I'll go to bed, me and my wife talk, watch movies, whatever. Then next morning start over. I did that for 5 years.
That's crazy, man.
For 5 years.
Yeah.
And see, what happened was I found out that people wasn't putting in the time they should have put in. And so even working a 12-hour job, we was together, if they was in front of me, they wasn't far. When I left my job, I was doing the same thing, but now I got basically 8 to 12 hours to put in extra work on top of what I was doing. So then it was like, boom. When I look back, I was like, darn, man, I had, at one point I had like 50 outlines for scripts, and I think I had like 10 or 11 written, just sitting there, you know what I mean? And it's just from every day, the extra hour every day. And over time, boom, boom, boom.
And that's the hard thing, balance. Because I know a lot of people don't know how to, properly balance all the things that they need to do, within their life. And a lot of successful people always say you wake up early. You beat everybody else up, you get up early. And like I'm kind of like you. Like I work like sometimes 10, sometimes 12 hours. I drive. But I'm up early regardless. I go to work 2 o'clock in the morning. So gotta be up at 1. Gotta be up at 1 something to go to work. But it's the same thing. I know with me, I try to be fair when it comes down to my family. I do the same thing.
Yeah.
That's why I asked you that question. I try to know that when I get home, I can't stay stuck in my programs, 24/7, or trying to land, different shows or interviews, or dealing with the arts and graphics. You can't do that 24/7. So I was wondering, because what you're doing is like you're doing a lot more than you managing people on top of writing scripts, on top of this. I was like, dang, how do you live your day to day? I know how mine is. So I was only, curious, like, how do you manage that,
Being efficient is very important, and not wasting time. I love my script writing program because it tells me in the corner, linear, like by the second, how much time I spent writing, how much time I spent thinking. And sometimes I could feel like, man, I got a lot done, and I look like, what in the world, So it changed the way I work, being very cautious of that, to really use that hour, to really use those 2 hours. And I had a problem, and some of it was a little anxiety and stuff like that, but if I didn't get all my work done, it was hard to completely focus with my family. If I didn't do what I was supposed to do with my family, it was hard to completely focus on my work. So I had to set it up where I wasn't wasting time. Instead of having 10 things to do that day, only had 3. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And I nailed those 3, so I'm done. I'm good. So that feeling isn't like that, like that anymore. But yeah, it's that balance. And I had to remember the sacrifice is for them. They're not the sacrifice, And so I implemented them into it. Like my youngest boy, he does some acting. My daughter does some PA stuff. When I write up stuff and send stuff out, my wife looks over it, and really got them involved. And my goal is to get them involved a lot more. But I think that's part of it to help you balance it out.
Man, that's big, bro. I'm still, like, you talking, and I hear you, but I'm still stuck in what you just said. Like, the sacrifices for them, they are not the sacrifice.
Yeah.
I like that because that's real, because sometimes you can get lost in that. You be like, yo, you give me some time, watch y'all move. I'm trying to do this for us, and not realizing that you sacrificing your family, quote unquote, to try to help your family. Like, you making them suffer through this process. And that was dope. But I like that. I'm going to have to put that in my life.
But, finding you spoke about balance, which is huge. And a pastor told me a long time ago, sometimes balance is not 1 hour here, 1 hour there. Sometimes balance is you go work on this for a week, then you come back and you work on this for, because some things require more time than them.
That's true.
So, even with eating, or something we say, like, just not every other hour. This requires this much time, this requires this much time. That's balance, not trying to even out what it is.
Got you. I feel you.
So I implemented my kids and my family into it to create that balance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, you made them a part of the process versus, leaving them on the outside.
Yeah,
And
finding something they enjoy and something I enjoy to make it a little bit easier.
And see, the same thing here, I'm thinking about, and I ain't thinking about, no, I'm going to do it. Because like I said, you don't need to think about it, like Jay said. But I'm going to start a part with my little ones, my kids. I'm going to let them have their own little show or whatnot. There is, and I know this is going to sound cheesy to some people, but there is a talk, because my wife, she into this talk of some form of reality show. It's going to be small, something small, and play around with it. But we're going to do it just because that's something she into, and I'm going to figure it out.
A podcast is a reality show.
Yeah,
Think about
that's what we talking about. Yeah, because
so,
we got YSW. We got a my wife was already a part of the process. Me and her have a pod together called YSW, called Your Secret Window, and I started doing that with her like a year ago. But now I want to integrate the kids into it too and get them their own little show.
I like that. I like that, man. I think that's huge. And oh my God, I can't think of it. Lonzo Ball? No, what's his dad's name? The basketball.
I know you're talking about
3 sons. But anyway, he mentioned about when you look at white families a lot of the time, and he said white, but I think he meant just families of wealth, of a culture of wealth. It's multiple people in the family. But he said in our culture, we see it as, oh, the one is going to make it. They don't see it as that. Everybody's going to make it somehow. I don't care. You're gonna be a cop, and what happens? And oh man, this realtor told me everybody needs a trade in your family, and what she said and what Mr. Ball said just kind of really came together. And I didn't grab it at first until years later. I was watching this little white girl, and at this time she might have been 16. She was able to go, if she wanted to, get more money from her immediate family than I probably could get from everybody that came to my wedding put together.
That's crazy, yeah.
And it created opportunity for her because everybody had some form of a trade. Uncle was a cop. One owned a landscaping business. One, I think like an aunt was a teacher. Mom did some administrative work. So whenever anything about the laws and tickets and whatever, one was a lawyer, she can get that information. Anything where she needed information about a cop to get ahead, she can get that information. Running a grocery store, she can get that information. Stuff about schooling and advantages and disadvantages and things, being able to think 3 or 4 steps ahead, she was able to get that. You know, so it's really about mastery and creating that environment and not thinking, oh, he's going to become a basketball player and all of us just going to live good. No. Well, what are we going to contribute? You know what I mean? Man,
and that's dope because you even see that in that new TV show they got out, that 50 wrote. Which one?
What, BMF?
Not BMF, the other one, Power.
The Book of Ghosts. Yeah.
And everybody was basically banking on a basketball player. I can think of his name
right
now.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the same thing. Like, they're like, Zeke. I think Zeke, your name. He's going to be a star. He's going to be, and everybody's banking on that. It's kind of like that same thing you're saying versus having everybody aligned and equipped to be great in their own era. You know what I mean? So that's dope.
You know what's funny? You bring it up now. Say if that was a real family, and say if one of those people was a cop. With all the stuff that happened, one of them was a cop.
Yeah.
Say somebody in the family was a lawyer. That whole thing would have been different. You know what I mean?
Never
like and so like that. Even somebody that just does rentals, rent out office spaces and stuff in the family. Like that information, that mastery of that can get you ahead. Just like a lot of basketball players now that had parents that was in the NBA. They had information and an environment they can get a hold to because of their parents. Yeah, you know.
And see what's dope about that, because what you just described is basically, to be honest, it's like one of my, because you have many friend groups, you got circles of friends, but some of them are separated from others. But I got one network of friends, and that's how it is. You got one that own a photography business. You have another one that do staffing organization, where like a temp service. You got another one that works on computer sites and know how to do marketing skills. And then you got me, myself, I do podcasts and then marketing. I can do plug people. Everything we do serves a purpose. If we come together, we're a powerhouse. Like if you look at all the friends, and it took a while for us to see that because we're so used to working on our own thing. Like this person over here doing their own thing, this person doing their own thing. But then one day it just came together and we realized that everything that we do all forms and aligns with each other. By accident, like not on purpose. It's by accident. Just everything works together, and it's like now that we see that, we're gonna try to find out how to orchestrate and use that. Being that we all got our own thing that we're good at, we all got our own platforms, and we all know how to make money in different ways. So it's like now, like how do we bring that together and make one big oil well machine? But it's funny that a lot of people can't see that. They still think separate when they're thinking about making it. Versus, we all gonna make it one way or another. We all use our networks and the tools that we got together to, propel each other. We all can get there. And
I don't think it's, you're right. It's amazing that we don't see it. And I think it's not because we're incapable. I think our culture bakes a lot of this stuff into us. You know, all the stories is that one basketball player that put the whole family on. You know what I mean?
True.
We glorify basketball players like they're gods. You know?
That's true. Yeah.
We don't glorify the realtor. You know what I mean? But in other cultures, they got shows for the realtor.
You're right. I say
you know what I'm saying? But they don't have it in our culture. That they glorify health eating in other cultures. We don't glorify that. We glorify soul food, and it has to be this way. You know? And so I think it's not like a lot of the stuff with the younger generation, our generation, older generation. I think it's not like we're incapable or we just weren't able to do it. It's like you put a smart person in the room and you surround him with a bunch of junk. He's gonna make the best out of the junk that you gave him. You know?
Facts. Yeah.
And so as knowing this and understanding this, we have to do these things. You know, I have to get my son into acting. You know, he has to do more than just play basketball.
Facts.
You know, he has to understand that exercise is important. You know what I mean? You have to be cautious of, yeah, you can like sweets, but sweets is one of them things like certain people. You only need that once a month, but, you know, like for real.
Yeah, true.
So I think it's just discipline and creating habits. When you create those habits, when they're older, they don't think about it.
And it's funny you said that because same thing with my son. He played football, but I would tell him you can't just play football. You got to learn how to play piano too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just giving that, you know, they said something different. I'm not just going to stick you over here because you think you're good at it. And like I said, even with the pod, like that's going to happen. Like they're going to start their own pod, and it's like it's a family. This is what we do. You know what I mean?
Or even football. Learn how to write football plays. Learn how to. There's like physicians and stuff like those are people that be around forever. The football player plays a few years.
You're right.
The doctor, he's been. I mean, back since the. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he done worked on every player on his team.
and I think just that mindset, but we just. A little bit of insecurity, you know, and self, a lack of accountability for loving ourselves has a big deal to do with it. Because we'll chase attention.
Attention, yeah.
You know, instead of like true success and true accountability. We'll chase that. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you good. No, I feel like when you said a little bit of insecurity, I really feel like it's a lot of insecurity. I
was being a little nice.
Yeah. I think it's a lot.
Right.
Yeah, because I think what happens is like a lot of people won't do things just because they feel like they're gonna be laughed at. They won't like you said, they can have the backing like you said, and they can take the leap of faith because they have something to leap off of, and they still won't do it because they worrying about how people are gonna perceive them, what they're gonna say, what they're gonna think about, are they gonna make fun of me? I know people right now that actually have projects that they do, but you'll never see them post about it on social media.
What?
Yeah, you'll never see them tell them, hey, go check this out, because they don't want to get rejected. So for the sake of not being rejected, they got a small network of people that know what they're doing, but you'll never see them advertise themselves.
And you know what's funny? You made something click because you're 100% right. And I think it goes both ways too. There are people that would do stuff because they think they were going to get attention. They don't even really like that. I mean, just thinking like, man, there's probably some women that wear outfits they can't stand to wear, hard to get in, hard to do anything, but they think it's going to get them that attention. You know what I mean? There's people that really don't like the shoes, but because the bottom of the shoe's red, they think this is what they got to,
they got to do.
And a big example of that is people that invest so much into purchasing fake stuff. Like bootleg stuff, and instead of like, you really don't have a passion for that. You just want to be seen, you know? And it's sad because I didn't realize it was such an issue in the Black community for so long. On YouTube, everybody, you can go on YouTube and see it. It should still be up there. It's been up there for a while. There's an old video from the 70s called How to Sell to a Negro.
I seen that like years ago, man.
Yeah, and they talk about how it's basically, from my understanding, I could be wrong, it was a management video that white people use in business years ago to sell to Black people. And the video talk about Black people want titles and these things. We're looking, because we're not accountable for ourselves, and because when you're accountable for yourself, when I go into this school and say, I'm gonna learn as much as I can because God has given me the body, ability to do it, you learn how amazing you are. You understand how great you are. You know what I mean? And to say yes to that is also to say no to the things that are against that. You know?
True.
And so But when you do that, but when you don't do that, that desire is still there. That energy is, you're still a human, you're still living. So it's replaced with other things. So instead of me being accountable for myself, now other things make me accountable. Having a Mercedes Benz on my car, now that says I'm somebody, instead of me being somebody. You know. Also, a thing that bothered me, man. I never told anybody this. I probably just told Jay, but my parents didn't know. I felt like when I was in school when I was younger, there was so much emphasis on getting up. You got to be on school on time and such and this. But when Saturday came, there wasn't school. There was nothing. Like you just do what you want to do. And the emphasis on school was great, but I feel like there should be more on my personal time, what really makes me me. You know what I mean?
True. Dang,
So it's Saturday. Now you did what you want to do during the week, but Saturday you got to get up at 6 and you got to start working on yourself. Like what you want to read, what you want to do. And I think because we don't do that, that transfers to now my job identifies who I am now that I'm older. You know what I mean? Now that clothes, you know what I mean, where identify who I'm not older. It's not I'm somebody because I'm somebody. You know what I mean?
Hey, dude, I'm waking my kids up at 6 every weekend now. Yo, no, that was deep, bro. You're right, because this is your time, and I want you to be just as prompt and just as ready for you to dive into you.
Yeah.
And that's what I heard. That's dope. I didn't never think of it that way, you know, but that's dope. Like, no, don't sleep your day away. Get up.
Yeah, this is really when this is not the lazy day, and the only reason why we're doing this stuff for other people so we can have all the opportunity to work on ourselves.
True.
But we give all that energy to other people's businesses, and which is fine because you need that to learn how to run a business.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to time for ourselves, we just like we smoke, drink, party, blow the mind. It's like,
dude, it's so real. Cause even back to that thing you talking about how to sell to a Negro, I really feel like it played on insecurities. That's what that whole video was about.
Yeah.
And they played on, you know, they think they need the big fur coat to be somebody, or the big gold chain, and it's basically the same things that I mean throughout the course of years for the last 20 years. That is the reality that we've been sold. Like you gotta have the newest car when it come out, the newest outfit, the newest this, you know. And I think people don't connect to the reality of the truth until, in my eyes, and not knocking nobody who still chase that, but until you come on real adult, until you understand money. When you understand money, you be like, yo, I'm not finna go buy that. And you know what I mean? And then be hurting for 2 weeks and gotta eat, you know, ramen noodles 2 weeks because you done blew your money on this dope outfit for $300.
Yeah, and getting to that point is a bigger accomplishment than I think we think it is. Mm-hmm. Because I don't, you know, like I was saying before, I don't think we're just born like that. I think if you've been through, your ancestors been through slavery for 400 years, it's hard to go through slavery and believe you're somebody. It's hard to look at these other people that have the right to vote, can walk down the sidewalk, can look and say stuff to people, and you can't, and feel that you are somebody.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
This goes down to kids and children. So when you do this, you create habits from this. So those habits do what? You pass those habits down to your children. It's just like a virus or something, you know? It starts here, then it travels and travels and travels. And so it's hard for that fruit to not be infected, or those people to not be infected when it's passed down. And I think we got to remember it's about understanding that, then reacting and making the right choices, not thinking this is just how we are. No, it's not. No, we were put in slavery for years, told we were not nothing, giving nothing, not giving rights, and still to this day we are treated like that. Somebody can put their knee on somebody and kill them on national TV, and they can play the video on national TV and people act like nothing should be done to this person. It's hard to go through life and really believe you are important. You know what I mean? So I think you're absolutely right about getting an understanding of money and all these different things work, how they work, but be real with yourself. Don't get down on yourself like, I ain't nobody. I feel so many black people out here to say like, yo, well, we just here to do this. And no. Somebody wanted you to think like that. That has nothing to do. That's why when they say history, they only say American history. They don't say black history, because they say black history, they have to go back to Africa when you were a king, when they were a queen, you know what I mean? But they don't want you to know that part, you know? So, but that's a whole nother.
It is, but it's deep. And that's my thing. Like, how do you, because I know some people feel like they got to achieve certain things or have certain things to be somebody. And that is the tricky part. Like, you know, you can wake up one day and feel like you got the bare minimum and be like, man, I'm screwing this thing called life up. I ain't nobody. It's so easy to fall in that dark place. You know, it's truthfully a dark place, no matter how nobody look at it. That's why I feel like everybody need to have, like you said, dive into themselves and find out, you know, who God wants you to be. What is your purpose? Like, why am I here? And it's funny because if I find I'm here to bake cakes, and that's something so simple, right?
Yeah.
But if I find out that's why I'm here and I realize that's my calling, I'm going to be happy in that corner of my world because I'm doing what I was called to do. I'm doing what I was led to do, and it makes me happy. And I think
I'm sorry because, but you got to grow too.
Yeah,
and
of
so
course.
It's hard to be happy in the field and you're not growing.
And not growing. That's true. Yeah, and you got to grow on that. But I feel like once you do turn your focus and turn your light on to what you're supposed to be doing, I feel like you will grow because you are dedicating the right amount of time to that. And I say that all the time on all my little small videos. We all have lights, and all our lights shine different. You know, yours may be brighter than mine. Mine's may be brighter than yours.
Like
you know, but we got to shine those lights. We can't let nobody dim them, turn them out. We got to be who we meant to be, and, you know, and be happy in it. You know, and then understand, you know, under that light, other things will grow. And that's where I feel like if, you know, for your sons, they're watching you. They see everything you do. They probably see your ups and downs. They see the things that other people won't see. They probably see you scratch your head out of aggravation, you know, and get mad, probably swing at the wall, you know. Yeah. But they see you come out of that. And those are, you know, Jews that, you know, those priceless. You know what I mean? Because they get to see it work. They see the gears grinding. They see how you maneuver through things. And I feel like that's why I say people got to put themselves around the right people. That go full circle. I was at the barbershop today and we're having a conversation about that, but in female and kids aspect, when female date people, that's not good for the kids. Because you bring the wrong person around your kid, they're going to learn and pick up from that. Yeah. You know, and that goes right along with rubbing elbows with the right people, being around the right people. Like, your kid's going to learn a lot from you and your wife. They're going to see how y'all interact with each other, how y'all help each other build. Those be tools they can take in their adult life. You know, people that you work with, they see you having a dream. It may be like 10 people under you that have their own individual dreams that may have nothing to do with what they're doing now. But then they may be inspired by the journey you taking and seeing that, hey man, this dude started here and now he's you know, he's here. And that's how it is for me and you. I watch you from the Crazy Red Show, because that's where my journey started with you.
Gotcha.
You know, and from there it was like Take Back Ministry, and you was a part of that. You know, I just ran across a picture.
Yeah,
I
seen it.
I
seen the picture of that the other day.
And I'm like, damn, that's right where it was. It's just like, it's a whole journey, man. It's like, but being around the right people is where it's at. I told my buddy, Rod, I told him the other day, I was like, I realized where I went wrong the last 2 years. And I didn't word it like this because you just gave me the wording now. But the last 2 years, I've been hanging around one of your people on an everyday basis, and it was stumping my growth of getting where I need to go. And it was crazy because it took me to actually stop feeling like I was gonna be selfish if I dissing myself. Stop feeling like I was wrong for thinking about me first, and I really had to be like, all right, look. This is what you got to do. You can no longer allow yourself to hold yourself back because it ain't their fault. So once you recognize it, it's on you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Not like they're trying to hold you down.
Yeah,
like,
you know. So once you recognize it, that's literally on you to do something about it. And I think that's the hardest thing when you see something you got to check and put in order. Sometimes you got to just do it and not wait. You know what I mean? But that's why I said that's another big key point I'm gonna take from this. Those once a year people, like, that is real. And I think this. It's fun to interview, but it's like a pod/interview. We podding more than we're doing an interview. But it's like, all that stuff you're saying is dope, man. Like, surround yourself with good people. One bad apple. Even it's funny because you came right back on the bad fruit thing when you're talking about us as a culture, us as a people. Yeah. And it was deep thinking about it. Like, there's a lot of damage that's been passed down, and you may not see it as damage. You know, some people may not see it that way, but it's a lot of damage that we got to comb through and, you know, revamp and do things differently. And you got to know you can depend on your brother. That's probably like the most crazy thing I heard somebody say was a famous chick, Just Hilarious. You ever heard of her? She's a comedian. Just
that rings a bell. I'm horrible with putting faces.
But she got roasted one year because she was down on black business online. That's why I don't deal with black business, because, you know, you did this and she was just going in on it. And it was like, dang, that's how you gonna do your people? You know, it's like, granted, it's not your family member or nothing like that, but these other people are aspiring to be something, and you gonna use your platform to go online because you got a big platform, and you're gonna attack these people because they got one thing wrong for you. They didn't do something right.
You know what's funny? Wow, that's interesting. I think it's also about when you put in the work yourself to a certain point, when it balances out with your character, you think about things differently. Okay. You know what I mean? So we have say we went through the same amount of stuff, same amount of pain, stress, but some person character is what I would consider on a higher level than the next person. Then we react different. Doesn't mean this person is better than this person. We just react different. One thing I don't, and because I was almost a victim of doing something like that. Okay. And I noticed just as humans, when we get angry, we'll go and lash it out, but we can go to the same place and they can serve us great 10 times. We won't say one word. Yeah. And so I think not even knowing what she said, I don't think what she said was wrong. I just think maybe, because I really don't know the whole situation.
Got you.
Now, if she would have called them and been like, hey, or try to talk to them, and they just kind of like, whatever, blah, then okay, you know what, I still wouldn't do it myself, but that's the green light to go do it.
Yeah.
But if you just, it's one mistake, and you just boo, 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 then that's gonna, so I see what you're saying, like, we have to be cautious about lifting people up, and honestly, is one bad, I'm not sure what the business was, say it was a meal, one bad meal worth turning down a black business?
You know what I mean? It wasn't a meal, it was a seafood place. That's when you go to a seafood place, you try to tear it down. Sorry about that.
You good.
Yeah, man, like I said, it's one of those things where I'm for the people, you for the people. We've been talking for a while. I ain't gonna try to hold you here to pass an hour and 30 minutes. But leaving out anything you want to say to the people, anything you want to, let them know, any websites, any .coms, anywhere you want them to follow you at.
Kind of close it out.
Yeah, close it out, yeah.
Just go to ilovemyvideo.com. Nakia T Hamilton, Nakia THAMILTON. But you'll if you don't know me, if you can't find me, I ain't doing the work I'm supposed to be doing. So I ain't about to here and just promote myself like that.
That's true.
I at the same time, I'm not gonna let you know who I am, but I would say character, man. That's something we don't talk about. Character is everywhere. It's like taxes and death. You can't shake it. It impacts everything. And the scary thing about character is you can walk in a room and say nothing and it has a huge impact. You can walk in a room and say something, it can have a huge impact. You cannot show up and your character can have a huge impact.
That's crazy. Yeah.
And we don't work on that enough. We're, as filmmakers, we're so concerned about what camera to use. All that stuff is different tomorrow. The actor, there'll be another actor in this place tomorrow. Like all that stuff would change. Equipment, all that stuff would change, but your character will always be there. And so spend time working on that, because with the right character, you won't need as much money to get started. True. With the right character, it'll be easier to find the right people. They'll be there. You know what I mean? With the right character, you have the right ideas. I know a guy right now has over 450 movies. He owns them and never made one in his entire life.
Huh?
Through relationships with people.
That again?
Yeah.
No,
exactly.
Explain that again. Like,
through relationships and building and cutting deals with people, he was able to get some money, buy a few movies, make a little bit of money, buy some more, and keep ownership of the movies. Now he's up to 450 something movies, and he could just put them on. He can just sit.
That's crazy, bro.
Think about each of them made $100 a month. Each of them made $1,000 a quarter. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it adds up fast. So, and God forbid, you have those movies independently that do $1 million that quarter, or even, $100,000 that quarter. Like, just from his relationships and having character, he was able to, because of his character, he was able to build these relationships. So I just want to really emphasize on working on that accountability, discipline, doing what you say you're going to do, being considerate of other people, and that right there, if you get that right, everything else will fall in place.
That's absolutely true, man. Like, literally, you said it, and I'll let you go. You made me want to ask more questions. I was like, I swear, I'm hearing you wrap it up. Like, hey, I got more questions now. Like, I'm asking one before I go. Like, selling movies. Like, when you sell a movie, do you sell it entirely, or when you sell a movie to somebody, you still make some kind of profit off of it, or do you make one-time profit whenever you?
To me, it depends on the movie. Rarely do I try to do one-time profit. There's a few of those that I do because it's just best for the deal. But I highly recommend everybody try to get ownership But to get ownership and being able to get a lot of value out of it, it takes knowledge and information and being able to execute. For some people, it's better to make the movie, for 50 grand and get, a quick $100,000 check and keep it moving. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But for some people, it's best to make that movie 50 grand and lease it. And so you have to know this prior to making the movie. And that's why you can't get your emotions involved, because you're making a project that you're passionate about, but you don't have another 999,000. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what matters. Honestly, there's a few movies I made that I can't even watch. But on paper, it was a freaking amazing deal. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
And so, because to me, it's a business. I had to get my emotions out of the way. I really don't do passion projects because I'm not in the business of doing passion. I'm in the business of selling movies. So I try to make movies that will sell, cut deals that make sense for it, make budgets that would make deals for the outlet that I'm going to place it in, that I know I have an opportunity to put it in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm just not making something like Hope the World. No, that's why there's typecast people. That's why there's producers doing the same stuff over and over again, because somebody going to give them a check for that,
Yeah.
So go ahead.
I just like the way you break stuff down, because you could tell that you've been here for a while. You're like, no, I like, you're not wasting your time. But the way you talk like, no, I'm not wasting my time. I'm real. I got this thing figured out. I know where I'm sending this, where I'm putting this at. And like you say, such thing as a passion project. I'm doing what I know is going to, it's going to sell, or what people are going to be attracted to, and I'm getting it out there. And I just like the way you say things, because it shows growth. It shows not really growth, but it shows where you at mentally.
Thank you, man.
You know what I mean? It shows mentally that you know what you're doing. You're not wasting nobody's time when you're out here.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to keep the podcast.
I know,
but I gotta say, man, we gotta remember our family, man.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta remember, like, I'm not trying to spend 3 months filming a movie, bro. Like, we can knock Entanglement's supposed to be scheduled for 7 days. Somebody got sick, we had to push it back a month, and the only schedule we can get for 3 days. Everybody, we put our heads together, we got an agreement, and we filmed straight for 3 days and finished the movie. We just made that decision. I think they went to sleep. In between filming, we might have 4 scenes you're not in. Nelson went upstairs and took a nap, basically. You know what I mean? He chilled. Kevin was in the room. Then we just moved around. Bird was doing her thing. She got up 3 o'clock in the morning. Like, we just made up our mind that we're going to knock this out and get this over with, because we could be spending this time with our families. This is a business. We want to laugh and chill with each other. We'll go get some money and go down to the bar downtown and do that.
Right.
This is work. And when you have that morale with a group of people, you can take a 7-8 day movie and do it in 3 days.
Dude, I'm still bugging that you saying you do it in days. Like, I'm still bugging about that aspect. You talking about 3 days, you talking about 7 days. Like, it literally takes that.
Ask Jay, there's been times where we filmed. The first time we really did it was Dear Younger Me. And Jay was like, you realize the sun is coming back up again. When we came there, the sun wasn't up. And the sun went up, went down. We're still filming. The sun came back up when we started packing up.
Oh, that's crazy.
He was like, bro, you realize the sun is coming up again? I was like, what? And my adrenaline and body was moving so much, we left at like 5:45. I got to the crib. I woke back up at like 9 something. Felt like I didn't do nothing. Because I was just like,
crazy.
Just like, so like, just ready, like, let's film, let's get this knocked out. Brad took a nap, got up to his part. You just create that morale and schedule people around. I wouldn't keep an actor that long. So that's why they went, took a nap, did their thing, came back. You come in, film your part, you can go home. But me and Jay have to keep this train running. So it's just making a decision, get it done. And once you realize I could be spending this time with my family, my wife ain't gonna be like, a passion project? What the? What you talking about, a passion project? No, you better go to work, get that money, bring your tail back to the house.
Seriously. Oh, man. I like that, bro. I didn't know you can shoot it. How long of a movie is that? Like in days, like hours and change, or
it kind of depends on the movie. So Entanglement is 3 days. I think Entanglement like an hour and 20 minutes.
Okay.
Somewhere there. Legally, most films now, like, it changes, but I think it has to be 70 minutes long.
Okay.
But I want more than that on certain movies, because if I'm going straight to AVOD, the longer the movie and I got people wrapped up in it, the more money I can make.
Okay, got you. Oh, that's dope, bro. But like you said, we're gonna keep talking. That's what we is.
Yeah,
We're gonna be here forever, man. Hey, look, man, this is your boy King Lee, man. This is Bridging the Gap. Today we have a special guest, like I said, Nakia Hamilton in the building, man. Good to have him. I know him as Crazy Red or Red, but you know, gotta be professional. You know what I mean?
Yo, anybody said call me Crazy Red, we go
way back. I'm telling you, man. But thanks for coming today, man. I enjoyed this time, man. I enjoyed this.
Thank you, bro. I really enjoyed it, man. This was a good interview, good podding, man. And I really enjoyed it. Sometimes it's not as fun, but this was fun, man.
Yeah, definitely fun, bro. And entertaining, and not entertaining, informative. Because you gave me a lot of stuff I need to take home and apply in real life. But anyway, people, we'll see y'all next time. Peace.